has to be the top 3 most skilled players in the game because he doesn't have any athleticism. I mean, no definition, no speed, and he continues to be major factor out there on the offensive end. And it's just, it's fun to watch, though.
He doesn't really have any weaknesses in his game. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. He's so big and such a great passer and such a willing passer, because it's not just about being able to make the pass. He's such a willing passer that the threat of his pass puts you in a conundrum. And then, of course, he can score on ISO. He can score on closeouts. He can score on pick and pop. You know, he can handle the ball.
The PER, or the player efficiency rating, is probably the closest stat that measures a certain player's all-around productivity, as it sums up all of the positives, like scoring, rebounds, blocks, and steals, and deducts them from the negative ones like missed shots and turnovers, which allows to get a ballpark figure on just how efficient a certain player is overall. See, here's the list of players that have the highest PER this season. And as expected, there are the usual guys like Steph, Tatum, LeBron, Zion, SGA, KD, Giannis, Luka, and Embiid. But at the top of the mountain, there's this guy standing head and shoulders above everyone else. And historically speaking, he just sits behind the GOAT in this category to prove that what he's been doing right now is just at an all-time level. Nikola Jokic is just a different kind of monster compared to Giannis or Embiid, as he's neither as fast nor as athletic as them. But despite that, he's still dominating the league with a turtle-like speed and 5-inch vertical. And though he's branded as the Joker, there's nothing funny about the numbers he's putting up this season. I mean, 25.1 points, 11 rebounds, almost 10 assists, 1.4 steals, and the ridiculous part here is that he's shooting 62.6% from the field, 37% from 3, and 82% from the foul line. Basically, that kind of a stat line right there has proved that Nikola Jokic is the most complete player in the NBA right now. And in case you aren't sold on this idea, he just became the first player in league history to notch 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in a single season last year, therefore already cementing himself as the premier all-around big in NBA history. It's scary to think that Jokic is already considered an all-time great despite only playing 8 seasons in the league, and in line with that, let's talk about why he's such a special player, starting with his basketball IQ. Now, there's no stat to exactly measure this aspect of Jokic's game because it's not tangible and all that, but I've strung together a couple of clips here just to show you how his brilliant mind operates in a real game. Now, here against the Lakers, Jokic spun around to attract the interior defenders. At this point, you can see that the entire Lakers squad was already looking at Jokic. And from the way his body is angled and his head is positioned, it looks like he's gonna sling it to the corner man right here. But that didn't happen because here's what happened. His IQ and vision are just operating on crazy levels. And here against Golden State, Jokic showed it once again in the most crucial situation. Up by 3, Poole just made a layup to cut the lead to 1. Now, knowing that the Warriors are going to do a full-court press to force a steal, Jokic quickly inbounds the ball and heaves a quarterback-like pass to Bruce Brown at the other side of the court before the defense even sets up. His instinct and unbelievable feel for the game has allowed him to do all those crazy things, and I'm pretty darn sure that there's no doubt that he's the best playmaking big man in today's NBA. See, here's the top 20 assist man in the league right now, with Jokic being ranked as 3rd with almost 10 assists a ball game. As you can see here, there are no other players listed at 6'11" or above that have been better than Jokic when it comes to throwing dimes, and the only tall players that are closest to him are Ben Simmons, who averages 4 assists less than him, and Domantas Sabonis, who's currently averaging 7.1 assists a ball game. Now, speaking of Sabonis, I wasn't really surprised that his name popped out there because he's also an underrated passer just like his father, and I think the only player that really comes close to being a replica of Jokic is actually his father, Arvydas Sabonis, because of their similarity in terms of skill set and play style. Anyways, from one great playmaker to the next, here's what LeBron said about Jokic's insane basketball IQ.
Being able to get your teammates involved, putting the ball on time, on target, being able to see things happen before they happen and seeing the reward go to your teammates, it's the best part of the game.
You see that in him?
Yes.
Now, the next aspect of this game that I want to talk about is his scoring. Contrary to his tendency for being flashy whenever he's facilitating, Jokic totally works the opposite when he decides to score, as he makes everything look so simple and easy. After feeling where Gibson's weight is, Jokic just spun the other way around to finish this one with a reverse. Now, if he's not in attack mode, the Joker can simply pull his patented Sombor shuffle out of his bag to make a fool out of his defender. And in hand, Jokic has actually the highest offensive rating in the NBA, with 124.3 points per 100 possessions. And he also ranks second behind Joel Embiid in terms of points per game in the big man category. Now, when a reporter asked Greg Popovich why Jokic is such a complete player on both ends of the floor, here's his candid answer.
He's too damn good. It's not fair, all the things he can do. And, he's so funny. I love the guy. He doesn't look like he's doing anything. He's not going fast. He's not jumping high. It's kind of Larry Birdish, in a way. But talk about skills and anticipation and decisions. He's fantastic. Great hands, scores in every which way, involves all his teammates.
As good as he is on the offensive end, some people have pointed out that Jokic's biggest weakness has always been his slow feet whenever he plays defense. While that sometimes may be true, that's not always the case for Jokic, as he has stepped up his effort on defense this season. See, while Jokic can't keep up with Vanderbilt laterally in transition, he beats him in his spot and uses his quick hands to swipe the ball out of his hands. Though he may not have a high vertical leap like Embiid, Giannis, or AD, what I love about Jokic is that he has a nose for the ball, and he will not hesitate to poke the ball if you expose it to him. Here you can see his quick hands yet again, and after deflecting the ball, Jokic read perfectly what the Spurs are going to do, and he just picked their pocket here before leading a nice pass in transition for an easy bucket on the other end. With his quick hands, Jokic currently ranks 4th when it comes to deflection, with a total of 140, and as you can see in this list, the other 9 players are either guards or forwards. So that really speaks a lot about Jokic's improvement this season on defense. And on a bigger scale, Jokic isn't actually bad on defense as most people think, as he's currently in the top 20 in terms of defensive rating with 109.8, and he's actually just tied with the 3-time Defensive Player Award winner, Rudy Gobert, at this point in the season. From offense to defense, there seem to be little to no flaws in Jokic's game, and if we gauge his all-around contribution to the game, you can see that he leads the NBA in terms of the player impact estimate category, which means that the Joker is truly the most versatile and complete player in the league right now. On top of that, he also leads the league in overall net rating, and he also ranks first among centers in real plus-minus, which makes him second overall, behind only Jason Tatum. The Nuggets are surging right now, with the team ranking at the top of the Western Conference, and from the looks of it, they're going to have a deep run in the playoffs, as it seems that they've finally figured out how to win consistently. With this being said, Jokic will definitely play a huge role in their championship run this season, and if the Nuggets continue to play like this, then Jokic might become the 4th player in NBA history to grab the MVP trophy in 3 consecutive years, along with Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell.